What if I told you that one of the greatest empires in history started as a small Turkish state and grew to dominate 3 continents? The Ottoman Empire, founded in 1299, expanded from a modest frontier principality in Anatolia to control vast territories across Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. But how did this once small state rise to become a superpower, ruling for over 600 years? And what caused its eventual collapse? At its height, the Ottomans controlled some of the world's most important trade routes, built an advanced military, and left behind a rich cultural legacy. Yet, like all great empires, internal struggles, military defeats, and shifting global powers led to its decline. This is the story of the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire, a saga of conquest, power, and downfall that shaped the modern world. The Ottoman Empire began as a small Turkic principality in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, founded by Osman around 1299. The early Ottomans were Ghazis, or warrior bands, dedicated to expanding Islam's frontiers. But they weren't just warriors. They were strategic leaders who took advantage of the crumbling Byzantine Empire and internal conflicts among their rivals. Under Orhan, 1324 to 1362, the Ottomans expanded into Bursa, making it their first capital. By the time of Murat Mur, 1362 to 1389, they had crossed into Europe, defeating the Serbs and Bulgarians at the Battle of Kosovo, 1389. This marked the beginning of Ottoman dominance in the Balkans. But the most significant moment came in 1453, when Mehmed II, the Conqueror, led the siege of Constantinople. Using massive cannons and brilliant tactics, he crushed the last remnants of the Byzantine Empire. With its fall, the Ottomans made Constantinople, Istanbul, their new capital, turning it into the center of a growing empire. From a small frontier state, the Ottomans had transformed into one of the world's most powerful empires, and their rise was far from over. The Ottomans didn't just conquer, they knew how to hold on to power. Their success was built on a strong military, an efficient administration, and a system that allowed them to rule over diverse peoples. One of their greatest military innovations was the Janissary Corps, an elite army made up of Christian boys taken from the Balkans through the Devshirme system. These soldiers were trained from childhood, making them fierce, loyal warriors who formed the backbone of the Ottoman military. The Ottomans also controlled the Mediterranean Sea thanks to their powerful navy, which rivaled European fleets. They expanded trade, controlling key routes between Europe, Asia, and Africa, making their empire incredibly wealthy. Domestically, the millet system allowed religious minorities, Christians, Jews, and others, to govern themselves under Ottoman rule, creating stability. With a mix of military might, strategic governance, and economic strength, the Ottomans reached their golden age. The Ottoman Empire reached its peak under Suleiman the Magnificent, 1520 to 1566, often called the lawgiver in the Islamic world. Under his rule, the empire stretched from Hungary to Yemen and from Algeria to the Persian Gulf, making it one of the most powerful states in history. With a powerful army, a booming economy, and a strong centralized government, the Ottoman Empire seemed unstoppable. But no empire lasts forever. After Suleiman, a slow decline began, one that would eventually lead to the empire's collapse. After Suleiman the Magnificent's death in 1566, the Ottoman Empire began a slow decline. The empire was still powerful, but internal corruption, weak rulers, and military stagnation weakened its foundations. One major problem was the succession system. Instead of choosing the most capable ruler, sultans began isolating their heirs in the Topkapi Palace, leading to inexperienced leaders who lacked political or military experience. Many later sultans became puppets controlled by palace officials and corrupt advisors. Meanwhile, the Janissary Corps, once an elite fighting force, became corrupt and resisted modernization. While Europe embraced new military technology, the Ottomans fell behind. The empire also faced economic struggles. European sea routes bypassed Ottoman-controlled trade routes, reducing revenue. Additionally, inflation and mismanagement weakened the economy. Ottoman defeats in battle signaled the empire's fading dominance. Although the empire would survive for another 2 centuries, the cracks were growing. The once mighty Ottomans were now the sick man of Europe. By the 19th century, the Ottoman Empire was in deep decline. European powers saw it as weak, referring to it as the sick man of Europe. The empire struggled to modernize while rival nations, including Britain, France, and Russia, sought to carve up its territories. Internally, nationalist movements were rising. The Greeks, 1821, Serbs, 1835, and Bulgarians, 1876, all fought for independence, and the Ottomans struggled to maintain control. To survive, the Ottomans launched Tanzimat reforms, 1839 to 1876, to modernize the military economy and government. However, these reforms were too little, too late. The empire's debt skyrocketed, and European nations took control of Ottoman finances. The Russo-Turkish War, 1877 to 78, further weakened the empire, forcing it to give up Balkan territories. The Ottoman state was shrinking, and by the 20th century, it was on the brink of collapse. By 1914, the Ottoman Empire was a shadow of its former self, but it still controlled Anatolia, the Middle East, and parts of the Balkans. When World War I broke out, the Ottomans joined the Central Powers, Germany and Austria-Hungary, hoping to regain lost territories. However, the war was a disaster. The Ottomans suffered major defeats. In 1918, the Ottomans surrendered, and the victorious Allies occupied Istanbul. The empire was officially dissolved in 1922, ending over 600 years of Ottoman rule. But out of the ruins, a new nation would rise: Turkey, led by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. One of its most significant legacies is modern Turkey. Founded by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk in 1923, he transformed the former Ottoman state into a secular republic, ending centuries of sultanate rule. The empire also left a deep cultural and religious impact. Ottoman-era mosques, such as the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, remain symbols of architectural brilliance. The millet system influenced how modern nations handle religious minorities. Even the Ottoman legal and administrative systems influenced the development of laws in former territories. If you love this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We also recommend watching Constantinople's final stand against the Ottomans. For the time being, peace out.